Right. How's everyone doing tonight? Excellent. I'm excellent too. I got a funny story to tell you. I got a haircut. That's the funny story, isn't it funny? It's a rhetorical question. I didn't want an answer. Thanks for not answering. Is it on? It's on. Cool. Great. More funny stories. So, this guy named Donald and I, we finally agree on something. We both think that we should shut down the government. He actually said that. Good job for him. He's our president. He wants to shut down the government. Except we disagree why we should shut it down. He wants to shut it down because he thinks we have too many entitlement programs and we're not building enough walls. I want to shut it down because I want a new election when the popular vote rules in November. But no one's talking about that, so that's why I think it's kind of funny. More about that. He's very afraid about this one guy that lives way across on the other side of the world. His name's Kim Jong-un, and he's got not as many toys as Donald has. So he's like, maybe I can be friends with him and I can play with his toys that only go up in the sky and they blow up when we try to do things because his toys doesn't really work. But he's still afraid of them. So he was like, you better behave, Kim Jong-un, or I'm going to send my fleet from Singapore up to through Indonesia to North Korea. And so I thought I'd find out a little more about North Korea because they're supposed to be our enemy. So I did a little compare and contrast, like Venn diagram. And I guess North Korea, they got men and women and children and cars and booze and people. So that's like very similar things that we have. So yeah, people live there. North Korea population is 25 million. The population of the United States is 321 million. So big difference. The undernourishment in North Korea is 32%. The undernourishment in the United States is 11%. Yeah, the United States has less undernourishment, right? No, well, let's think about that in whole numbers, right? So 32% actually is only 8 million people, and 11% for the United States would be 35 million people and undernourished people. And in the United States, 21% of our waste is food that is uneaten from seed to table. So we just like make all this food and then not do anything with it. We just throw it away. So in terms of that, we also have, let's see, that was food waste, undernourishment. We'll go with the homelessness. Well, North Korea, we don't really know how much food waste they have. I think it's because they feed all of their flowering sparrows. And their flowering sparrows are apparently, they're these homeless children. So all of their food waste goes to feed their flowering sparrows. The flowering sparrows, which we don't know how many there are, and we don't know how much food they waste. We do have homeless children, 2.5 million of them. So I guess we don't have to rule out childhood soldiers. We got more funny material for that too, but we also have 2.2 million people in prison, so I say we just give them a parachute and drop them off in North Korea, and then we can home all of our homeless people in our prisons and call them homeless homes. That's all I got for tonight. Hey everyone, we're going to do an epilogue to tonight's show, because I didn't get to say everything that I wanted to. I'm not going to edit in laughter, so you're going to have to laugh without prompt. I know it might be hard for you to laugh on your own when not prompted by other laughter around you, but please, please laugh as much as you can at the things that I say. This is supposed to be a tongue-in-cheeky kind of thing, so if you're watching this on your own, please laugh as much as you can. If you're watching this with others, help each other laugh. All right, starting off with the homeless children in this country, that 2.5 million. We're gonna call these guys, these children, flowering eagles, like our national seal, the eagle. Yes, these are our future weapons in our arsenal as sons of Rambo and daughters of Rambo, um, fighting the good fight for freedom in America. Power to the homeless children. Along the lines of homelessness, we have 1.5 million homeless adults in this country. 60,000 of those roughly are homeless veterans. I bet our homeless adults and children wouldn't mind helping to dispose and and help in composting our 21% of our food waste that we don't even serve to anyone. We just throw it away. I think their digestive systems would be happy to compost this food that's made for people to eat but isn't eaten. Along the lines of homelessness and homes, roughly 5 times the amount of homelessness in this country, adult homelessness. There is empty houses. There are vacant houses. So there are 5 times as many vacant houses as there are homeless people. So that's like 7 million roughly vacant houses in this country with no one living in them. Sorry, homeless people, you can't live in them. If you did, you wouldn't be homeless anymore, and we can't have that. Let's see here. Homelessness in North Korea is it's a hard statistic to get. There were defectors and traders, and a defector said that there wasn't too much homelessness compared to other places that they visited, and other sources say there is homelessness, of course. So you have the two fighting edges of who's right and who's wrong in homelessness in North Korea. The one article that I saw about homelessness in North Korea was after a flood left 150,000 people homeless after a flood in North Korea. That's as cited truth, I guess, that I could find in homelessness in North Korea. Prison incarceration in North Korea, the population is at 200,000. Yes, there are political prisoners and there are executions there, and we have our executions too. Our prison population is 2.2 million people, felons. They're in prisons and they have beds and they sleep in them, and they are also fed meals and they get to work out. I'm putting this out there for another weapon in our arsenal, that the prison population warfare, we could just strap some parachutes on them, drop them out of planes, or put them in boats and let them swim to shore to the lands of our enemies and let them deal with them. After all, maybe we could then turn our prisons into homeless homes. It's where we take our current homeless population and give them homes into our prisons and let them eat the food that we waste and that we make for our prisons. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So, in that said, that Donald is fearing this guy that lives half across the world with a very, I think my haircut is better than his haircut, and Donald, I hope you fear my wisdom and my logic and my truth and my knowledge much more than you fear this dictator's ability to threaten our country and you in its ability to try to launch a weapon that probably could never reach our lands, let alone be a very destructive force for themselves, because they can't even launch a missile that won't blow up in their own airspace. So, Donald, let's face the facts here that you're an unpopular president. You're on uncommon ground, and it's time to get out of the common house and have a new election where the common rules. So let's hope that our next summer here and into the fall, where September happens and the debt ceiling is reached again in September, that you want to shut down the government because we have too many entitlement programs, but I want to shut down the government because I think we should have a new election where the popular vote rules. An uncommon president in one of the greatest democracies of all time is unacceptable in this day and age.